Alright guys, here we are again at Home Depot. This is what I built yesterday. This is the door frame. This 2x4 and turned out pretty good actually. I cannot stress enough, I cannot overstress the importance of getting straight wood. It sounds like an obvious thing, but a lot of the wood at Home Depot is pretty junky. I mean, I shouldn't say junky, it's just not straight. So you have to be very careful to make sure what you're buying is straight. So what I was going to do is I was going to put the same stuff like this on the door between these two pieces, bam and bam, but they didn't have any. Getting back to the junky wood, it was terrible. There wasn't that much, and what they had was terrible, so I thought, forget it. So I bought this. This is, they call it 12 by 8, but really it's 11.25 by 8. Another thing, always make sure you bring a tape measure and measure what the wood dimensions are. Unless you really know, you're very familiar with how they have the measurements of wood, it's a good idea to make sure, because if you bought this thinking it was 12 and it's actually 11.25 wide, then you're gonna have some problems. So I'm gonna cut this up and into like 4 pieces, and that's gonna make the inside of this. Now some people are thinking, oh man, that's gonna be heavy. It's 3/4 inches thick, but guess what, so is this stuff. The only difference is this stuff has these little cuts. It's got them on the side and on the top and the bottom and in the middle. So really, how much weight difference shaving that off does it make? I don't know. Not much. So what I did on this door is I had to put these pieces in. It's inset a bit so that I can put the luan over it. That's that side. And then this is always a hodgepodge. I got 1/4 inch right here, and then luan, which is I think an 1/8 or 3/16 or something. And then here I put this block in because that's where the handle's gonna go, just right here. And if you don't have something behind it, it's just gonna rip right out, so you need to have something significant behind it. This is with the piece of luan in place. Block is right under here, and as you can see from yesterday's video with the using a circular saw, cut straight lines, worked pretty good. Pretty happy with that. So that's going to be the inside. So well, inside, that's going to be, this is going to be facing out towards the driving area, the cab. So the handle will go on somewhere over here, la 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 la. And then, you know, it's a shame to paint it. I kind of like it, just the natural look, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I paint it or leave it? The area behind the driver's side, the plywood is in bad shape, so that needs to be painted. So I feel like I should paint the whole thing if I'm going to do one part, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Handle in place, screws in place, and it looks pretty good. Probably about as best as I can do. Well, unless I spent a billion more years. Yeah. Time for some food. I'm hungry. Alright guys, different Home Depot, same door. So I put one layer of insulation in, this is the 1/2 inch. Now I'm gonna do 2 pieces of 1 inch right here. So that's gonna be like R12 plus R3, R15. Woo, that's heavy duty. Alright guys, we got some progress here. You can see all the insulation is in, and I got 3 panels on. I gotta say I'm not overly thrilled about this. You see right here there's a tiny gap, but what can you do, man? Well, I guess in the future when I'm done, what I could do is later on I could take these out and I have an idea to use pine boards like this for cupboard doors. So I could just cut off the screw bits on the end and use them as that, and then put some regular tongue and groove in there. But for now, I'm just going to finish it. It's just me being picky. And I got my little chop shop going over here. Another thing I do is I use some black tape to mark off exactly the spot that I want. And then I just keep, and then it's easier to find my exact measurement that I want to use. So that helps speed things up a bit. Alright guys, the door is pretty much complete. I still have to put the handle on and the little locking mechanism. And one other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a magnet under here with a piece of metal as a way to keep the door closed. My previous van, my High Top Express, I actually used Velcro, and it's only going to last so long. So am I happy with the end product? I give it a 7.5 out of 10. I'm not like super thrilled, but it's okay. It's a little bit heavy, and man, this thing took me like 3 full days of work. But that's it. One thing I'll point out, let's see if I can open this here. Pardon my mess inside here, by the way, because I've got like a billion things I need to get rid of in the front here. See? I wasn't lying. One thing I've noticed, oh, you can see a big huge gap here. That sucks. I wonder if I could fix that. Anyway, one thing I've noticed is that there is like between this piece of the door and the frame, there's like a fairly large gap, and I'm gonna stick some weather stripping in there. But when I tried to minimize that gap, what happened was, because the door is like 3.5 inches thick, you know, it's the thickness of a 2x4, you'd have to make the door thin in order for there to be less of a gap. And if it was too thin, then your insulation level is going to come down. But I could potentially in the future change it and try to just use a little bit less insulation. Right now it's got 2.5 inches of insulation, so it's like R15. R15? Yeah, R15. So that's quite a bit. Anyways, guys, there you have it. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have a good night.